I was driving home from my sister's house. It was late, around 1 a.m., and the storm had just started rolling in. The roads out in the hill country get slick fast, and visibility drops to near zero. I kept my eyes on the yellow lines and took it slow. Wipers swiped uselessly across the windshield. Rain hammered the roof like nails. As I rounded a sharp bend, I saw a figure walking along the shoulder, soaking wet, hunched, and holding her thumb out. Normally, I don't pick up strangers. But something about this person, she looked desperate, so I pulled over. She didn't say a word, just climbed in, dripping all over the seat. I said, "Where are you headed?" Still silence. She stared ahead, face half covered by wet hair. I assumed she was just in shock from the storm. 10 minutes passed. That's when I noticed her reflection in the passenger side mirror wasn't moving. Her body shifted, her head tilted, but the mirror stayed still. And suddenly, there was no reflection at all. I tried to hide my panic. I said, "You okay?" Still nothing. Then I heard a wet whisper, "This road never lets me leave." I looked over. The seat was empty, but the door was still closed, still wet. I pulled over and turned on every light in the car. No one, just a puddle on the seat. I drove 90 the rest of the way home. I was driving through Missouri during a thunderstorm when I decided to stop for the night. The highway had flooded, and I couldn't see a thing. I pulled into a tiny roadside motel that looked abandoned, but the neon vacancy sign still glowed red through the rain. An old man at the desk handed me a key. Room 7, no ID, no credit card. He just said, "You'll be gone by morning anyway." The room was musty and cold, smelled like mold and burnt plastic. I threw my backpack on the bed and went to shower. That's when I noticed the mirror was completely black, like someone had painted over it. And behind the curtain, nothing. No window, just a wall. I tried to sleep, but the thunder kept shaking the walls. And sometime around 2 a.m., I heard knocking. Soft, rhythmic, from the other side of the bathroom wall. Then I saw it, my reflection in the TV screen. She wasn't lying down. She was standing behind me. I turned around. No one. But the screen still showed her, still watching me. I grabbed my bag and ran out into the storm. The old man at the desk was gone. No car, no lights, just rain. I still have the room 7 key, but I've never found that motel again. It was pouring hard that night. I was driving home from a friend's wedding when I saw taillights up ahead. A car stalled under the overpass. Hazards flashing, hood up. I pulled over and got out with my umbrella. A woman in a red dress stood by the trunk, waving. She looked soaked but calm. I said, "Need a ride?" She just nodded. We didn't talk much as she got in. She didn't even thank me, just stared out the window. I asked her name, nothing. I looked over. Her dress was dry, but her seat was wet. We kept driving in silence for about 15 minutes, and then she said, "You missed the turn." I said, "What turn?" She pointed behind us. I lived back there. I turned the car around. When we passed the overpass again, the stalled car was still there, but there were 2 state troopers now, and a stretcher, and someone covered in a red sheet. I looked to the passenger seat. It was empty. The rain was relentless that night. I was on my way back from a client meeting, driving through a patch of Oregon forest I'd never been through before. The GPS had lost signal 20 minutes ago, and I hadn't seen another car since. Then I saw it, a gas station, just a single pump, one overhead light, and a little concrete hut that might have been a store. The light flickered, weak and yellow, but it felt like home. My tank was near empty. I pulled in. There was no signage, no pricing. Just the pump and the building with a single window, dark. I tried the pump, nothing. I knocked on the store's door, no answer. Then the overhead light cut out, total darkness. I got back in the car, locked the doors, and that's when I saw someone step into the glow of my headlights. A man, or something like a man. He didn't approach, just stood at the edge of the light, dripping wet, head tilted like he was trying to understand what he was seeing. I turned the key. The engine wouldn't start. He took one step forward, then stopped. Another, still watching me. I screamed and slammed the horn. The light above flickered back on. He was gone. The pump clicked once. The gauge said F, full. I didn't touch the nozzle. The engine roared to life without me trying again. I sped off without looking back. I tried to find that station again 2 days later, retraced every road. It wasn't there, just a moss-covered lot, and the outline of where concrete used to be. I had just wrapped a late shift at the plant, driving home around 2 a.m., rain hammering the windshield like rocks. The ditches were flooding along Highway 167, deep, dark water pooling on both sides of the 2-lane road. That's when I saw him. A man standing waist-deep in the ditch. No umbrella, no jacket. His eyes caught my high beams. Wide, frozen, hollow. I slowed, rolled my window down a crack. "Hey, you all right?" No response. He lifted his hand. Not waving, pointing, not at me. At the back seat of my car, I turned slowly, empty. Then he screamed. Not words, just a primal, blood-freezing shriek. I floored it. Didn't stop until I hit a Shell station 10 miles out. Got out, checked the back seat, nothing. But the leather was soaked. Dripping, like someone had been sitting there, drenched. I looked down at the floor mat. A single wet footprint pointed toward the front. I sold that car the next week. But sometimes on rainy nights, I swear I hear footsteps sloshing behind me, even when I'm indoors.